So, have you got your dice rolling from 1 to 6 now? That's brilliant. Now, why just stick with 6? Wouldn't it be great if we can actually get the end user to input a number, and then with that number, it would roll to the number itself? Let's try that. So, the first thing I want is back in my body, I'm going to ask for an input. I'm going to put a bit of nice text in first. Maybe I have this as a heading 1. It's going to be, maybe I call this dice roller. And then I'm going to have okay. Oops. I forgot to put a break in there. Okay, now I've done that, let's add this number. So I'm going to, for an input, it's very simple, it's input. I want this just to be a number and nothing else. So I have to specify the type, and that's going to be number, so type. If you don't do this, then they would be able to enter text, and you can get some strange errors if you do that. So by forcing it to be a number here, it will only ever be a number. I need to give it some kind of ID. So I'm going to call this one the number of, or max number on dice. And it would be nice to actually have a starting value. I can stick with 6. Although ironically this is in speech marks, even though we now have specified it's a number. Okay, so we've now got a lovely little input number. If I save that, I just want to give it a quick test. You see dice roller, please select the maximum number of dice. And that should work. But, and if I try and type something other than, oh, shouldn't allow me to do that. Won't do it. Whereas if I type a number, say 45, there we go. Of course, roller dice will ignore it for the moment. We now need to take that number and place it in our JavaScript. So, how do we do that? Okay, remember it's got this thing called max number on dice. That's its ID. And in this case, it's also got a value because it's an input, and this is really handy. So at the beginning, when we rolled the dice, we were saying, all right, we need somehow to create a variable for this instead. So I'm going to go var, I'm going to give it a name, say max number is equal to document get element by ID max number of dice dot. Now in the past I've used inner HTML, but this time I'm actually going to use value because it's an input. And then a semicolon. So what it's now going to do is we're going to create this variable called max number. Max number we're going to get from the value of the element that's called, or has the ID of max number on dice. I can now simply change the 6 here to max number. There we go. I save. I'm going to give that a quick test. So if I roll the dice, I get up to 6, but say I change that to 50-sided dice and roll the dice now, I can get up to 50 sides. There you go. Give that a try.